I was sitting in my cubicle, staring at the same spreadsheet for the third hour straight, when Karen's voice cut through the open office like a knife. "Sarah, my office now." Everyone's heads swiveled. I felt the heat crawl up my neck as I stood, smoothed my blazer, and walked the gauntlet of whispering co-workers. Karen never called anyone in privately unless she was about to swing the axe. She didn't even wait for me to close the door. "Sit." I did. She spun her monitor toward me. On the screen was an email chain. Our biggest client's pricing proposal, timestamped 2 days ago, forwarded from my work address to a Gmail account I'd never seen before. "I didn't send that," I said immediately. Karen leaned back, arms crossed, lips curled into that fake sweet smile she used right before she gutted someone. "Funny. It traced the IP to the building, your computer, your login. Your fingerprints are all over this, Sarah." "That's impossible. I was out sick Tuesday. Check the badge logs." "I already did. Someone used your badge to get in after hours. Convenient, isn't it?" My stomach dropped. I'd left my badge on my desk that Monday because the clip broke. I'd meant to fix it. Someone had used it. Karen tapped a manicured nail on the desk. "You have until Friday to prove this wasn't you. Otherwise, I'm recommending immediate termination for breach of confidentiality and gross misconduct. And trust me, sweetheart, I'll make sure every recruiter in Seattle knows exactly why you're radioactive." I opened my mouth, closed it. My pulse hammered in my ears. "Why are you doing this?" I finally asked, voice barely above a whisper. She laughed once, short and sharp. "Because some people think they're untouchable. You turned down my nephew at the holiday party last year. Laughed in his face. Did you think I'd forget?" She leaned forward. "Friday. Bring proof, or start packing." I walked out numb. The office blurred around me. By the time I reached my car in the garage, I was shaking so hard I could barely get the key in the ignition. That night, I didn't sleep. I paced my tiny Belltown apartment, replaying every interaction with Karen for the last 18 months. The stolen credit on the Q3 campaign, the forgotten promotion nomination, the way she'd started CCing my manager on every tiny email after I politely declined her nephew's third drunk text. I needed leverage, something nuclear. Around 3 a.m., scrolling LinkedIn in the dark, I remembered the rumor that had been floating around the company for months. A secret billionaire investor who'd quietly funneled 8 figures into us last year. No one knew his name, no photos, no interviews, just wire transfers and a single cryptic email to the board that said, "Keep doing what you're doing. I'll stay silent." In a sleep-deprived haze, the stupidest, most desperate idea of my life popped into my head. What if my boyfriend were that guy? I laughed out loud at how ridiculous it sounded. Then I kept thinking about it. By morning, I'd convinced myself it was my only play. Thursday morning, I walked into the 10 a.m. all-hands stand-up like I owned the place. Karen was mid-sentence praising her latest pet project when I raised my hand. "Actually, Karen," I said loud enough for the whole room to hear through the Zoom mics, "before you move on to performance reviews, you should probably know you can't fire me." She blinked. "Excuse me?" "My boyfriend is the anonymous investor, the one who's been bankrolling the last 3 rounds. If you terminate me, he pulls every cent, immediately." The room went graveyard silent. Someone's coffee mug clinked against a desk. Karen recovered fast. She laughed. Too loud, too brittle. "That's cute, Sarah. Really creative. Bring your imaginary boyfriend to the company gala tomorrow night. Let's see him in person. Otherwise, consider this your final warning." She ended the call. I sat there while 30 people stared at their screens, then at me. I just painted the biggest target on my back imaginable. That afternoon, I Googled, "hire a fake date Seattle." I found 3 services. The second one had a guy whose profile photo looked like he belonged on a yacht in Monaco. Dark hair, sharp jaw, tailored navy suit, easy half smile. Name, Alex Reed. Rate, $2,500 for a full evening event plus prep time. I booked him for Friday. We met on Thursday evening at a quiet bar on Capitol Hill. He arrived exactly on time. Same suit from the photo, same easy confidence. He ordered a club soda, sat across from me, and listened while I spilled the whole humiliating story. When I finished, he didn't laugh. He just nodded once. "I can sell it," he said. "But I need details. Company structure, investment timeline, key players, anything you know about the mystery investor?" I gave him everything I had, which wasn't much. He took notes on his phone, asked sharp follow-up questions I hadn't even thought of. By the end of the hour, I was almost convinced he could pull this off. "Tomorrow at 7, he said, standing. "I'll pick you up at 6:30. Wear something red. It photographs well." I almost asked how he knew I looked good in red. I didn't. Friday night, he pulled up in a black Tesla Model S. Sleek, quiet, expensive. I slid into the passenger seat wearing the only red dress I owned. Fitted, off the shoulder, the one I'd bought for a wedding I never went to. He glanced over. "You clean up nice." "So do you," I muttered. The gala was at the Four Seasons downtown. Crystal chandeliers, past champagne, execs in tuxes pretending they weren't networking. Karen spotted us the second we walked in. She made a beeline, smile glued on. "Sarah, and this must be—" "Alex," he said, extending a hand. Firm grip, steady eye contact. "Pleasure." Karen's smile didn't reach her eyes. "So you're the famous mystery man. Funny, no one's ever seen your face at board meetings." "I prefer discretion," Alex replied smoothly. "But when someone threatens someone I care about, discretion takes a back seat." And a few heads turned. Karen's jaw tightened. "Prove it," she said. "Tell me the exact amount wired in Q4 last year." Alex didn't hesitate. $14.7 million, tranche 3 of the Series C extension. Routed through Cayman Holdings, LLC. Final transfer cleared December 19th at 3:42 p.m. Pacific. Karen froze. I froze. How the hell did he know that? She recovered. "Lucky guess," Alex smiled. "Not a guess." He offered me his arm. We walked away. Karen stood rooted, face pale. For the next 2 hours, we worked in the room. Alex was flawless, charming without trying, dropping just enough insider knowledge to make people lean in. Board members shook his hand like they'd met before. The CFO asked about next steps on the growth fund. Alex answered without blinking. I started to relax. Maybe this was actually working. Then Karen struck. I was in the restroom fixing my lipstick when she slipped in behind me and locked the door. "Enjoying your little fairy tale?" she hissed. I turned. "It's not a fairy tale. You heard him." "I heard of a very well-rehearsed actor." She stepped closer. "I ran his name through every database I have access to. Nothing? No socials? No property records? No nothing? You hired a stripper or an escort, didn't you?" My heart slammed against my ribs. She smiled. "Monday morning. I'm going to HR with proof you tried to defraud the company with a paid imposter. You'll be gone by lunch." "And your little boyfriend? He'll be blacklisted from every tech firm in the state." She unlocked the door and left. I stood there shaking, lipstick smeared on my hand. When I got back to the ballroom, Alex was waiting near the bar. "You okay?" he asked quietly. "She knows," I whispered. "She's going to destroy me Monday." He studied my face for a long second. Then he took my hand and led me to a quiet alcove near the windows. "Sarah," he said, "I need to tell you something." My stomach twisted. "You're not an actor, are you?" "I am an actor," he said. "Just not the kind you hired." He pulled out his phone, opened a secure app, and showed me a single line of text. From ET to AR. Status, green. Proceed if necessary. ET Elias Thorne, the reclusive billionaire himself. I stared at Alex. "You're his what? Bodyguard? Assistant?" "His eyes and ears," Alex said. "I've been embedded for 6 months, quietly auditing, looking for leaks, looking for fraud." "Fraud?" I repeated. He nodded. "Karen's been skimming. Small at first, expense reports, vendor kickbacks, then bigger. She doctored the client data leak to frame you because you were getting too close to the numbers on the last audit you ran. She thought if you were fired, the trail would go cold. My head spun. You knew all this, and you let her keep going? I needed hard evidence. Irrefutable. Tonight was the final piece. She just gave it to me. He tapped his watch. A tiny red light blinked. Body cam, he said. Audio's been running since we walked in. Her confession in the bathroom, crystal clear. I felt like the floor had dropped out. So what happens now, I asked. Now, he said, we wait 48 hours. Monday morning, the office felt different. People were quieter, nervous. At 9:15, the all-hands alert pinged. Emergency board meeting. All staff are required to attend. Virtual and in person. Karen strutted into the conference room like she was about to be crowned. She'd dressed for victory, black power suit, red lips, hair perfect. The board appeared on the giant screen. Then a new window opened. Elias Thorne, in person, no filter, mid-40s, sharp features, calm gray eyes. The room sucked in a collective breath. Good morning, he said, voice low, measured. I've been silent too long. He didn't waste time. Over the next 20 minutes, he laid it out. Forensic audit results, bank records, time-stamped emails, vendor invoices that didn't match deliverables, wire transfers to offshore accounts with Karen's maiden name attached. And then, the body cam clip. Karen's voice filled the speakers. You hired a stripper or an escort, didn't you? Monday morning, I'm going to HR with proof you tried to defraud the company. Her face on the screen went white. Elias looked straight into the camera. Ms. Whitaker, your employment is terminated effective immediately. Security will escort you out. Seattle PD is waiting in the lobby. They have questions regarding wire fraud, embezzlement, and falsification of corporate records. 2 uniformed officers stepped into frame behind her. Karen started screaming. This is a setup. She hired a fake. Elias cut her off. The recording is authenticated. Chain of custody intact. You're done. She lunged for the door. Security caught her arms. She was still yelling when they dragged her into the hallway. The feed cut. Silence. Then the CEO cleared his throat. HR will be in touch with the next steps. For now, back to work. I sat there numb while people filed out, whispering. Alex found me in the break room 20 minutes later. You okay? He asked again. I laughed. A shaky, disbelieving sound. I think I'm in shock. He leaned against the counter. You're also getting a promotion. Elias wants you to lead the new transparency task force. Double your current salary, reporting directly to him. I stared. Why me? Because you didn't fold. You fought. And you trusted me when you had every reason not to. Heat crept up my cheeks. He stepped closer. Also, I'd like to take you to dinner. Not as a job, not as a cover, just us. I looked up at him. Really looked. The man who'd walked into my life pretending to be a billionaire's boyfriend was standing here asking me out for real. I smiled. Slow. Real. Only if you pick the place this time. He grinned. Deal. 6 months later, Karen pled guilty to 3 felony counts. Last I heard, she's serving 18 months at a minimum security facility outside Tacoma. Her name still pops up in industry blacklists. Me? I'm running a team of 12 now. The company's cleaner than it's ever been. Elias drops into our quarterly reviews via video, always asks how I'm doing, and always listens. And Alex? Alex moved into my Belltown apartment 3 months ago. We still argue about who makes better coffee. But every once in a while, when we're curled up on the couch watching the rain hit the windows, he'll look over and say, you know, I still owe you for that gala ticket. I always laugh. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't just watching your enemy fall. It's building something beautiful while they're still falling.